This is Mike DeGruy, the American documentary filmmaker who significantly expanded our understanding of the ocean's hidden wonders thanks to his groundbreaking underwater cinematography. One of DeGruy's most fascinating discoveries was the documentation of an underwater brine pool, also known as a lake within the sea. Incredibly, when they tried to dive into it, they were repelled. They didn't have the necessary density to enter. A fascinating discovery, but one that ended with Mike DeGruy being silenced. And his story isn't unique. That's why today we'll look at the reasons why NASA stopped exploring the oceans and try to answer that question. Let's begin. This is the question everyone is asking. Why did NASA stop exploring the ocean? This seemingly straightforward inquiry has given birth to countless theories, heated discussions, and a rabbit hole of speculation that goes deeper than the Mariana Trench itself. Some dismiss it as nothing more than internet folklore, while others believe there is something far more sinister lurking beneath the surface of this mystery. The claim that NASA suddenly ceased ocean exploration in 1978 is technically true only if you twist the narrative. Yes, Seasat failed that year, but NASA continued developing ocean observation satellites and contributing to marine research through other programs. The Topex Poseidon mission launched in 1992, the Jason series of satellites, and more recently, the PACE satellite launched in February 2024, all demonstrate NASA's ongoing commitment to studying Earth's oceans from above. But let's address the real reason you are here. You did not click on this video to hear about satellites and budget allocations. You want to know if there is any truth to the more sensational claims. Throughout this exploration, we are going to examine the most compelling theories, the strangest discoveries, and the unsettling encounters that have occurred in the deepest parts of our oceans. We will investigate the possibility that something ancient and terrifying may dwell in the abyss, something that could explain why humanity seems more interested in leaving this planet than fully exploring it. From unidentified submerged objects to creatures that should not exist according to our current understanding of biology, the ocean holds secrets that challenge our perception of reality. The mysteries of the deep sea. To understand why the ocean remains so enigmatic, we must first grasp the sheer scale and hostility of the deep sea environment. The average depth of the world's oceans is approximately 12,100 feet, but the deepest point, the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, plunges to a staggering 36,000 feet below the surface. At these depths, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at sea level, equivalent to having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of a person. The temperature hovers just above freezing, and sunlight cannot penetrate beyond about 3,300 feet, creating an eternal darkness that is as absolute as the void of space. These extreme conditions make deep-sea exploration extraordinarily difficult and dangerous. Specialized submersibles must be built to withstand the crushing pressure, and even the most advanced technology can fail catastrophically in these environments. The tragic implosion of the Titan submersible in June 2023, which was attempting to reach the wreck of the Titanic at a depth of 12,500 feet, serves as a grim reminder of the ocean's unforgiving nature. All 5 people aboard were killed instantly when the pressure hull failed, demonstrating that even in the 21st century, descending into the deep ocean remains one of the most perilous endeavors humans can undertake. Despite these challenges, oceanographers and marine biologists have made remarkable discoveries in recent decades. The deep ocean is not the lifeless void that scientists once believed it to be. Instead, it teems with bizarre and alien-looking creatures that have adapted to survive in conditions that would instantly kill most other forms of life. Hydrothermal vents, discovered in 1977, support entire ecosystems based not on photosynthesis, but on chemosynthesis, where bacteria convert chemicals from the Earth's interior into energy. These ecosystems exist in complete independence from the sun, raising profound questions about the nature of life and where else it might exist in the universe. Among the strangest creatures discovered in the deep sea are the giant tube worms that cluster around hydrothermal vents, some reaching lengths of 8 feet or more. There are also the anglerfish, with their bioluminescent lures dangling in front of massive jaws filled with needle-sharp teeth. The Dumbo octopus, named for its ear-like fins, flaps through the darkness at depths of up to 23,000 feet. The vampire squid, despite its terrifying name, is actually a gentle drifter that feeds on marine snow, the constant rain of organic debris that falls from the upper layers of the ocean. Each of these creatures represents millions of years of evolution in isolation, adapting to an environment so extreme that it seems more alien than familiar. But what if these known creatures are just the beginning? What if there are things down there that we have not yet documented, things that are far larger, far stranger, and far more dangerous than anything we have encountered? The ocean is vast enough to hide entire species, possibly even entire ecosystems, that have never been observed by human eyes. Consider that the colossal squid, one of the largest invertebrates on Earth, was only confirmed to exist through examination of specimens found in the stomachs of sperm whales. No living adult colossal squid has ever been observed in its natural habitat. If a creature that can grow up to 46 feet in length and weigh nearly 1,500 pounds can remain hidden from us, what else might be lurking in the unexplored 95% of the ocean? This brings us to one of the most persistent and unsettling theories regarding why NASA might have chosen to focus on space rather than the ocean. Could it be that during early exploratory missions, scientists encountered something that fundamentally changed their understanding of what exists on this planet? Could they have discovered evidence of creatures so massive and so terrifying that the decision was made to keep the public in the dark? The legend of the Leviathan. Throughout human history, cultures around the world have told stories of massive sea monsters dwelling in the deepest parts of the ocean. From the Kraken of Norse mythology to the Leviathan described in ancient Hebrew texts, these legends share common themes: impossibly large creatures with the power to destroy ships, control the seas, and instill terror in the hearts of those who encounter them. For centuries, these stories were dismissed as sailors' tales, exaggerations born from fear and superstition. However, as we have explored more of the ocean, we have discovered that many of these legends may have been based on real encounters with extraordinary marine life. The Leviathan, in particular, occupies a unique place in both religious texts and maritime folklore. In the Book of Job, the Leviathan is described as a creature of such immense power that no human weapon can harm it. Its scales are described as tightly sealed shields, its breath kindles coals, and flames dart from its mouth. The text states that when it rises up, even the mighty are terrified. In Jewish mythology, the Leviathan is portrayed as a sea serpent of such colossal size that it was created by God on the 5th day of creation, and according to legend, its female counterpart was destroyed to prevent the species from multiplying, as the world could not withstand the existence of multiple Leviathans. One particularly chilling passage from the Talmud describes the size of the Leviathan through the account of Rabbi Johanan. He recounts, "Once we went in a ship and saw a fish which put his head out of the water. He had horns upon which was written, 'I am one of the meanest creatures that inhabit the sea. I am 300 miles in length, and enter this day into the jaws of a Leviathan.'" If this text is to be taken even partially literally, it suggests a creature so large that a 300-mile-long fish is considered merely a snack. The description continues to explain that the Leviathan's breath is so hot it can boil the sea, and its eyes shine so brightly they can illuminate the ocean for miles in all directions. Modern science has taught us to be skeptical of such fantastical descriptions, attributing them to allegory, metaphor, or the imaginative exaggeration of encounters with large but explainable marine animals such as whales or giant squid. However, what if these ancient accounts were not entirely fictional? What if they were attempts by people with limited scientific knowledge to describe something they genuinely witnessed, something so far outside their frame of reference that they could only describe it in mythological terms? Consider the case of the giant squid, which was relegated to the realm of myth and legend until the late 19th century, when physical evidence began washing ashore. For thousands of years, sailors reported encounters with massive tentacled beasts capable of dragging men and even entire ships beneath the waves. Scientists dismissed these accounts as fiction until specimens were finally examined and the species was confirmed to exist. Even then, it was not until 2004 that the first photographs of a living giant squid were captured in its natural habitat, and not until 2012 that the first video footage was recorded. If a creature as large as the giant squid remained hidden from science for so long, what else might be lurking undiscovered in the abyss? There is also the case of the megalodon, a prehistoric shark that grew to lengths of up to 60 feet and possessed jaws powerful enough to crush a car. This apex predator dominated the oceans for millions of years before going extinct approximately 3.6 million years ago, according to the fossil record. Yet, there are those who believe the megalodon may still exist in the deepest, most unexplored regions of the ocean. While mainstream science considers this highly unlikely, it is worth noting that the coelacanth, a fish believed to have been extinct for 66 million years, was discovered alive and well off the coast of South Africa in 1938. The ocean has proven time and again that it can hide impossibilities. Now, let us entertain a disturbing possibility. What if during the early days of deep-sea exploration, whether conducted by NASA, the Navy, or other government agencies, explorers encountered something that matched the descriptions of a Leviathan? What if sonar readings detected something of impossible size moving through the deepest trenches? What if submersibles came face to face with a creature so massive and so alien that it defied categorization? Would such a discovery be made public, or would it be classified to prevent mass panic? The theory goes like this. In the years following World War II and leading up to the space race, there was significant interest in exploring the ocean depths, partly for scientific reasons and partly for military advantage. The deep ocean was seen as a potential theater for submarine warfare, and understanding the environment was crucial for national security. During these early expeditions, it is theorized that explorers discovered evidence of extremely large life forms dwelling at extreme depths. These creatures, possibly resembling the mythological Leviathan, were so disturbing and so far beyond our ability to defend against that the decision was made at the highest levels of government to redirect resources away from ocean exploration and toward space. The reasoning, according to this theory, would be twofold. First, if such creatures were disturbed or provoked by continued exploration, they could pose an existential threat to coastal populations and maritime activities. Second, if these creatures were indicators of other unknown dangers lurking in the deep, it might be prudent to develop the capability to leave the planet entirely, should Earth become uninhabitable or too dangerous. This would explain the sudden and intense focus on space exploration, the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles that doubled as rocket technology, and the long-term goal of establishing human presence on other celestial bodies. Is there any evidence to support this theory? Officially, no. There are no declassified documents explicitly stating that giant sea monsters were discovered. However, there are numerous accounts of strange sonar readings, unexplained underwater sounds, and encounters with unidentified submerged objects that suggest something unusual is happening in the ocean. There are also whispered rumors within military and scientific circles of encounters that cannot be explained, discoveries that are not discussed openly, and areas of the ocean that are avoided for reasons that are never fully articulated. Unidentified submerged objects. One of the most intriguing aspects of ocean mysteries involves unidentified submerged objects, or USOs. While unidentified flying objects have captured public imagination for decades, USOs are equally perplexing and potentially more significant. These objects have been reported by credible witnesses, including naval officers, commercial fishermen, and research scientists, and they exhibit behavior that defies conventional explanation. USO reports often describe objects moving underwater at speeds that far exceed anything achievable by known human-made technology. In some cases, these objects have been tracked by military sonar, moving at velocities greater than 400 knots underwater, which is physically impossible for any submarine or torpedo currently in existence. The drag forces and engineering challenges of moving through water at such speeds are insurmountable with current technology, yet these objects have been observed doing exactly that. One of the most well-documented USO incidents occurred in 1963 when a United States Navy submarine detected an unidentified object traveling underwater at extraordinary speed. The object was tracked for several days as it moved through the ocean, occasionally diving to depths that should have crushed any known vessel. The crew reported that the object emitted strange sounds and at times seemed to be aware of the submarine's presence, altering its course to avoid detection or interception. Eventually, the object simply vanished from sonar, disappearing without explanation. More recently, in October 2021, the nuclear-powered submarine USS Connecticut collided with an unidentified submerged object while operating in the South China Sea. The collision occurred at a considerable depth, and while the Navy initially reported that the submarine struck an uncharted seamount or underwater geological feature, this explanation has been met with skepticism. The USS Connecticut is equipped with some of the most advanced sonar and navigation systems in the world, systems specifically designed to avoid such collisions. For a vessel of this technological sophistication to strike an underwater obstacle suggests either a catastrophic failure of multiple redundant systems or the presence of something that should not have been there. The incident resulted in injuries to several crew members and significant damage to the submarine's forward section. The Navy launched an investigation, but many details of the incident remain classified. What exactly did the USS Connecticut hit? Was it truly an uncharted geological feature, Or did it collide with something else, something moving, something alive? The Navy has not provided a definitive answer, and the lack of transparency has only fueled speculation. These USO encounters raise disturbing questions. If these objects are not human-made, what are they? Are they advanced technology operated by unknown intelligences, whether terrestrial or extraterrestrial? Or could they be biological in nature, massive creatures moving through the ocean with capabilities that seem impossible according to our current understanding of physics and biology? There is a theory, less discussed but equally unsettling, that some USOs may actually be extremely large marine organisms, creatures so advanced in their evolution that they possess abilities we associate with technology rather than biology. Certain species of dolphins and whales use echolocation with such precision that they can effectively see through solid objects and even stun prey with focused sound waves. What if there are species in the deep ocean that have evolved even more sophisticated biological capabilities? What if these creatures can generate electromagnetic fields, manipulate water pressure around themselves to reduce drag, or even produce bioluminescence intense enough to appear as lights on sonar and visual observations? This hypothesis would explain why USOs often seem to exhibit both technological and organic characteristics. Witnesses describe them as metallic or structured, yet they move with a fluidity and adaptability that seems more biological than mechanical. They appear and disappear without warning, much like an animal hiding in its environment, rather than a machine following predetermined programming. Could it be that what we are interpreting as alien spacecraft or advanced submarines are actually encounters with life forms so beyond our experience that we lack the framework to properly identify them? If this is the case, it would represent one of the most significant discoveries in human history, and it would also present a profound challenge. How do you study a creature that is potentially more intelligent and certainly more adapted to its environment than we are to ours? How do you explore an ecosystem where you are not the apex predator, but rather a clumsy intruder? These questions may have been confronted by early ocean explorers, and the answers they found may have been so unsettling that the decision was made to focus humanity's exploratory efforts elsewhere: the underwater bases and structures. Adding another layer to the mystery are reports of unusual structures discovered on the ocean floor, structures that appear too symmetrical and organized to be natural geological formations. These discoveries have sparked theories ranging from ancient civilizations to extraterrestrial installations, and they raise the question of whether there are inhabited bases or facilities beneath the ocean that we do not understand. One of the most famous cases is the Malibu underwater structure, discovered off the coast of California, approximately 6 miles from Point Dume, in Malibu. The structure was initially identified through Google Earth images and appears to be a massive oval-shaped formation measuring roughly 3 miles in length. The images show what appear to be pillars, a wide entrance, and other features that suggest intelligent design rather than natural formation. The discovery sparked immediate speculation that this could be a base for unidentified submerged objects or perhaps the remains of an ancient, advanced civilization. Some researchers, including author Robert M. Stanley, have suggested that the Malibu structure could be an ancient alien installation, possibly a portal or what some call Stargate. According to Stanley, the structure aligns with several megalithic monuments in the Malibu area and corresponds with oral legends of the Chumash people, who have stories of this region being flooded approximately 12,000 years ago. Stanley also notes reports from amateur radio operators who claim to have detected unusual radio signals emanating from the structure, signals that suggest some form of activity or technology within or around the formation. Intriguingly, after the Malibu structure gained public attention, subsequent Google Earth images showed the area had been obscured or appeared different, leading to speculation that the imagery was deliberately altered. Whether this was due to image processing updates or intentional censorship remains a matter of debate. However, it raises the question of why certain underwater areas are blurred or pixelated in satellite imagery while others are shown in high detail. The United States Geological Survey has offered a more conventional explanation, suggesting that the Malibu structure is a natural formation created by erosion and tectonic activity. According to geologists, the area is part of the continental shelf and has experienced significant geological processes, including earthquakes and underwater landslides, which could create the appearance of organized structures. However, skeptics of this explanation point out that natural processes rarely create features with the degree of symmetry and apparent design seen in the Malibu formation. Similar mysterious structures have been discovered in other parts of the world. In the Baltic Sea, A formation known as the Baltic Sea anomaly was discovered in June 2011 by a team of Swedish treasure hunters using sonar imaging. The object measures approximately 200 feet in diameter and rests at a depth of about 300 feet on the seafloor. Sonar images reveal a disc-shaped object with what appears to be a raised center and a series of unusual features that do not resemble typical geological formations. Expeditions to the Baltic Sea anomaly have reported strange phenomena. Divers and researchers claim that electronic equipment malfunctions when in close proximity to the object, including satellite phones, cameras, and depth gauges. These devices allegedly function normally when divers move approximately 650 feet away from the structure, but fail again when they return to the site. This has led to speculation that the object emits some form of electromagnetic interference, which would be highly unusual for a natural rock formation. Samples taken from the Baltic Sea anomaly have been sent to various universities for analysis. While official reports state that the object is likely a natural geological formation, possibly volcanic rock or a product of glacial activity, the divers who discovered it strongly dispute this conclusion. They argue that natural formations do not cause electronic equipment to malfunction and do not exhibit the kind of symmetrical features seen in sonar imaging of the anomaly. Could these underwater structures be related to the broader mystery of ocean exploration? If there are installations or bases beneath the ocean, whether created by unknown human groups, ancient civilizations, or non-human intelligences, it would certainly explain why certain areas are avoided or why some discoveries are not widely publicized. The existence of such structures would also support the theory that the ocean holds secrets that governments and scientific institutions have chosen to keep hidden from the public. The brine pools, an impossible phenomena. Beyond creatures and structures, the ocean is home to phenomena that challenge our understanding of physics and chemistry. Among the strangest are brine pools, also known as underwater lakes. These formations occur when highly concentrated salt water, denser than the surrounding seawater, accumulates in depressions on the ocean floor, creating a distinct boundary that appears as a separate body of water within the ocean itself. The late filmmaker Mike DeGruy, who tragically died in a helicopter crash in Australia in 2012, documented one such brine pool in the Gulf of Mexico while filming for the BBC series Blue Planet. The brine pool he discovered measured approximately 65 feet in diameter and was located at a depth of around 3,300 feet. What made this discovery particularly fascinating was how the brine pool appeared and behaved. DeGruy described seeing what looked like a lake with visible shorelines and gentle waves, complete with a shimmering surface that resembled the interface between water and air. The most remarkable aspect of the brine pool was its density. The concentration of salt and other minerals made the brine so dense that the submersible DeGruy was piloting could not pass through it. Instead, when they attempted to descend into the brine, the submersible literally bounced off the surface as if it were hitting a solid or semi-solid barrier. This meant that whatever lay beneath the brine pool remained completely unknown and inaccessible, at least with the technology available at the time. DeGruy was quoted describing the brine pool as one of the most incredible things he had ever seen in his career. He noted the presence of what appeared to be steam rising from a brine, though it was actually water mixing at the boundary layer, and he observed the strange ring-like formation of mussels that had colonized the edges of the pool. These mussels were feeding on bacteria that thrived in the toxic environment, existing at the very boundary between life and an uninhabitable void. What makes brine pools particularly intriguing from a speculative standpoint is the question of what exists beneath them. If submersibles cannot penetrate the brine due to its density, then the spaces below these formations remain unexplored. Could there be caverns, tunnels, or even ecosystems hidden beneath the brine? Could these pools serve as barriers protecting something that lies deeper still? There is also the disturbing possibility that brine pools are not the only impenetrable barriers in the ocean. Could there be other layers, other zones that our technology cannot access? The ocean is a three-dimensional environment with complex stratification, temperature gradients, and pressure zones. It is conceivable that there are entire regions of the ocean that remain hidden behind natural barriers we do not yet understand how to overcome. The sounds from the deep. Perhaps nothing captures the eerie mystery of the ocean quite like the unexplained sounds that have been recorded emanating from its depths. Over the decades, hydrophones, underwater microphones used for monitoring seismic activity and tracking submarines, have picked up sounds that do not match any known source. These sounds are often loud enough to be detected across thousands of miles of ocean, yet their origin remains a mystery. One of the most famous unexplained ocean sounds is known as the bloop, recorded by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the summer of 1997. The bloop was detected by sensors located over 3,000 miles apart in the Pacific Ocean, indicating that whatever produced the sound was extraordinarily large and powerful. The audio signature of the bloop resembled the sounds made by marine mammals, but it was many times louder than any known biological source, including the largest whales. For years, the bloop sparked speculation that it could be the vocalization of an unknown creature of immense size, possibly something akin to the legendary Leviathan. However, NOAA eventually concluded that the bloop was most likely caused by ice quakes, the sound of large icebergs fracturing and cracking as they broke apart. While this explanation is plausible and supported by the location of the sound source near Antarctica, it has not entirely satisfied those who believe there may be more to the story. Other mysterious sounds recorded in the ocean include the upsweep, a continuous sound detected since 1991 that rises and falls in frequency, and the Julia, recorded in 1999, which lasted for approximately 15 seconds and was loud enough to be heard across the entire Pacific equatorial array. Both of these sounds remain unexplained, though theories range from volcanic activity to tectonic movements to unknown biological sources. The existence of these sounds raises a fundamental question. If the ocean can produce vocalizations or acoustic phenomena that are so loud and so unusual that we cannot identify their source, what does that tell us about how much we truly understand about the marine environment? Could there be creatures down there capable of producing sounds that dwarf anything we have documented? Could these sounds be forms of communication between organisms we have never encountered? There is also the unsettling possibility that some of these sounds are not natural at all, but are instead produced by technology or machinery of unknown origin. If there are indeed underwater bases or installations, whether built by humans or others, they would likely produce acoustic signatures as they operate. Pumps, generators, and other mechanical systems create sound, and in the ocean, sound travels much farther and more efficiently than light. Could some of the unexplained acoustic phenomena we have recorded be the operational noise of facilities we do not know exist? Before concluding, it is important to separate what we know for certain from what remains speculative. Here are the facts. NASA was founded in 1958 primarily to focus on space exploration and aeronautics. The agency has never had ocean exploration as a core mission, though it has contributed to marine science through satellite technology, remote sensing, and collaborative research projects. The claim that NASA stopped exploring the ocean in 1978 is misleading, as that is actually the year NASA launched its first oceanographic satellite, Seasat, which failed shortly after launch but provided valuable data. NOAA, not NASA, is the primary United States agency responsible for exploring and studying the ocean. NOAA operates research vessels, conducts deep-sea expeditions, and maintains monitoring systems that collect data on ocean conditions, marine life, and underwater geology. The division of responsibilities between NASA and NOAA makes organizational and practical sense given the different technical requirements and expertise needed for space and ocean exploration. The ocean does contain mysteries that remain unexplained. Over 80% of the ocean has never been mapped, explored, or even seen by human eyes. The deep sea is home to creatures that defy imagination, ecosystems that exist in conditions once thought impossible for life, and phenomena that challenge our understanding of the natural world. Continued exploration will undoubtedly reveal new species, new geological features, and perhaps new questions that we have not yet thought to ask. There have been unexplained encounters and discoveries in the ocean that remain unresolved. From USO sightings to mysterious structures to unexplained sounds, the ocean has produced its share of enigmas. Whether these phenomena have natural explanations that we have not yet discovered, or whether they represent something more extraordinary, remains an open question. The scientific method requires that we investigate these mysteries with rigor, collect evidence, and draw conclusions based on data rather than speculation. It is also true that governments and military organizations have historically classified information related to ocean activities, particularly when those activities involve naval operations, submarine technology, or strategic assets. Not all classified information involves conspiracies or cover-ups. Much of it is legitimately sensitive from a national security perspective. However, the existence of classified programs and information does create an environment where speculation can flourish, particularly when official explanations are vague or incomplete. The ocean holds its secrets tightly, but eventually, if we persist, those secrets will be revealed. And when they are, we may find that the truth is stranger, more wonderful, and more terrifying than anything we could have imagined.